Good morning, good morning, good morning, everyone. How are we all doing on this Monday morning? This is Reganelite here. Hello, everyone. It's been a while. It has been indeed quite a while. Welcome to Good Morning with Reganelite here on Monday, the 13th of October, 2025 at 11 a.m. UK time. We are dual streaming, of course, live on youtube.com/Reganelite and on twitch.tv/Reganelite1. Good to see some familiar faces there. Hope you guys are all doing well. I'm sure Dave McGuinness is probably doing going a bit over, but that's fine. Let it, when he's ready to finish, it's totally fine, guys. We have quite a lot to talk about, a lot to cover. Obviously, I have the weather and the daily quota, but I also need to run a couple of things with you guys as well. So first and foremost, did I have a nice holiday? Yes, I did. Thank you. The holiday itself, yes. Flying to and from the holiday, I did not. I had I had some problems, which are extremely stressful, which did not help. And the last 24 hours or more have been incredibly stressful for me, guys. Facebook have suspended my account, my personal account, claiming that I broke their terms and conditions or something. And I'm still waiting for the appeal to come back. That's super bad because I was actually set to get paid by Facebook literally the day before I got an email from them. Literally the day before, I got an email from them saying, "Here is your next income that's set to come into your account from Facebook from my wrestling page." So, I was going to get I was actually going to get a very nice amount of money from Facebook as well. So, not only have I lost at the moment, I cannot access my personal account, which could very well be erased. I could lose my Reganelite Facebook page, which has all my shorts on, which helps promote the channel from that side as well. But also my 25,000 plus followers on the wrestling page, which makes me revenue. I could lose that as well, which I have put countless hours into. So, understandably, it's been very stressful. To not be able to because I get on Facebook all the time, so I have 3 Facebook accounts I could potentially lose. So it said it would take over a day for appeal to be appointed, but I don't know. It's been more than a day at the moment, so all I can do is sit and wait. So I'm really not in a very good state of mind. It's having a profound impact on my mental health, not being able to access my personal Facebook account because there are friends on there that I will lose forever if I don't get allowed back into my account. And I do not know why this has happened to me, but it's really bad for me. So yeah, sorry to put that on you guys to be on a damp squid, but yeah, I've been trying to distract myself, as of course, which is what you need to do. But it's kind of hard to do so when you regularly go on Facebook, which is what I do. So, the other thing as well going on, guys, as you can see, I am going to make some changes again. I'm going to change some of the templates, same of the formats here on this channel. Like the videos are not working, video formats are not working, so I'm going to try something different. I'm also going to change all the templates and that. The whole wave watery thing is not working. I'm not going back to the snowflake thing, in fact, and I've got new intros, as you saw at the start here. So I've got new intros for videos that are going to be coming once I start making some videos as well. So, so some exciting things to look forward to here, guys. Witchygoth, good to see you there. Hope you are doing well. Yeah, I can't do anything about it. It's completely out of my hands. Like when I did the appeal, they didn't ask me any questions. They just asked me to verify who I am. And basically, they did a steal. This is the weird thing, right? Facebook, right? When I pressed for my appeal, right? remember, this is from my personal account, and because it's my personal account, all my other accounts are disabled automatically because they're all connected to it. So this is different than the other time it happened. So they asked me to do a video image of me. They asked me to do this. They asked me to do this. I don't know why, but that's all they asked of me on the appeal. Like, I didn't get to like type in explanation or whatever. Like that's all they asked for, to verify who I am. And all I can do now is wait. So it doesn't seem fair to not tell you what you're supposed to have done. Yeah, I know. All they said, I've broken terms and conditions, which I don't know what terms and conditions I broke. It's absolutely infuriating. As I said, it's incredibly stressful on me. Jao, good to see you there as well, popping in. Much appreciated. But never mind my problems, guys. There's a lot more people who are suffering a lot worse out there, and we need to talk about them. But before we do, guys, let's go to today's daily quota. Here is today's one here, guys. Here it is. Today's the 13th of October, if you can read that. If not, I will read it for you guys. So here it is from Dennis Waitley, that mistakes are painful when they happen, but years later of collection of mistakes is what's called experience. So mistakes are painful when they happen, but years later a collection of mistakes is what's called experience. It's true. You know, I think Piers Morgan, you know, for all the controversy around him, you know, he doesn't like people being given out participation medals, and I 100% agree with him. I hate children being given participation medals for participating in an event. No, it's supposed to be first, second, and third, and that's it. Like, you shouldn't get a participation medal for participating in something, you know. And yeah, losing and having mistakes and whatnot is what makes you actually a better person. So I 100% agree with that. So yeah, absolutely. Trip, good to see you there. Alston Keir, good to see you, buddy. Thanks for the plugs on to Davies. Person impersonator, Ellie, Mutty. I think I've covered everyone. Warangry Pagan, Russell Cannon, Scott Hayes. Good to see you all there. Mr. Skim says only Fed first networks now. No mainstream no so that Fed first networks are freedom. Okay, Mr. Skim. Good morning to you. Right, let's go straight to the weather, guys, and see what's happening with the weather. Don't want to cover too much of it. I might give it a bit more time tomorrow because there's a lot to talk about today. So we'll just have a look at today and tomorrow. So here is today's weather patterns at the moment here. I left the bed sheets literally hung out last night because I knew there wouldn't be any rain, and there wasn't any rain last night. And there's no rain here today. You can see temperatures are pretty chilly. 10, 9, 12, 14 degrees there. In terms of Europe here, if I go to 7 o'clock tonight, Madrid 20, Lisbon 24, Nice, Rome 21, 19, Bern 11, Paris 16, Brussels 14, Berlin 10, respectively. There, we'll just zoom in a little bit here. Let me just quickly bring up the wind. I don't want to spend too much time on the weather today because there's so much to talk about. Peter, good to see you there. Janet, good to see you there as well. And yeah, do check out Witchy Goth's YouTube channel. We had a great chat before I went on a holiday as well. That was a lovely chat. Can't wait to do one again with her. Absolutely lovely. But yeah, no rain at all, guys. No rain at all. Looks like forecast again for today, which is nice. Going into the next day here, as we can see, again, no rain looks like forecast. Just cloudy. Cloudy with some cold, bit chilly maybe in some parts. Maximum temperatures there from the looks of it is 15, 16 in some parts there. But that's to be expected. Again, like Edinburgh 12, like nothing really too much to add to the weather, I suppose. I mean, we'll have a quick look at Wednesday if there's anything on Wednesday. I don't think there is, guys. Just have a quick nose. Yeah, don't look like it's going to be anything for a while there. So, yeah, nothing really too much to add to the weather apart from bit of a mucky day, but no showers really. Maybe a bit chilly in parts. That's about it. So you won't need your raincoat at all, guys. You won't need your raincoat at all there. Right, let's talk about the big story, obviously, of course. The peace deal, the ceasefire. more my thoughts on it. I did do a Rumble video as well. If anyone wants to check out my Rumble video coming out at 12, and I also put out a Patreon video. It's going to go out at 12 o'clock today as well for America. So if you guys want to check them out, feel free to do so. They're both free to watch. Links for both Patreon and Rumble are linked in the description. So this is the live feed at the moment here. Palestinian prisoners, Israeli captives freed. Trump in Kissinett. I'm sure someone's going to correct my pronunciation there. The release of Palestinian prisoners held in Israeli jail begins after Hamas freed all 20 living Israeli captives held in the Gaza Strip as part of the ceasefire deal. President Donald Trump's arrived in Israel, but where he will address the Kissinett before heading to Egypt to co-chair the international summit on the deal. The Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu will also attend the Sharm el-Sheikh conference, according to the Egyptian presidency. So first of all, I'm pretty much going to be repeating a lot of things that I said on the Rumble video, which I'm going to be saying here anyway. But here's my first and foremost. Very happy the guns have stopped firing. Very happy the bombs have stopped falling. I'm very happy that the bloodshed has stopped for now. And I stress the words for now. Okay, in that aspect, I'm very happy about that. I'm very happy that people can actually walk around in Gaza without a bomb dropping on top of them. You know, I generally mean that sincerely because, you know, despite my personal feelings and some of you, and of course tensions and personal feelings are running high in this. Absolutely, I'm just happy that for that part, you know, kids are not getting bombed and blown up now, for now. And that's a good thing, and we should commend that, okay? Regardless of how we feel about President Trump, Israel, and all that stuff. Like, it's stopped for now, and that's something we should take a positive out of that. Take a positive out of that, and that's really, really important. Now, do I trust Israel to keep upholding their end of the bargain? Absolutely not, and I think anyone who believes that Israel are planning on to keeping their end I just think it's loony. It's just absolutely loony. I don't trust Israel whatsoever here to keep their end of the bargain here. I just don't. Because I've said this before. Netanyahu's government will collapse if this ceasefire continues. If this deal holds. Netanyahu's government will collapse. They will not want to approve of it. So I've got a feeling that perhaps Trump being in Israel, perhaps he's going to try and talk some of the ministers into not wanting his government to collapse, which is going to be kind of difficult for him. I don't know what Donald Trump could practically say. I mean, he's very well not liked, Netanyahu, by a lot of Israelis out there for holding up, what is the release of these hostages. But Hamas releasing all these hostages makes them incredibly vulnerable now. Hamas are incredibly vulnerable. And this is why I think that I didn't think Hamas would actually bend to this, because I generally think that Hamas, from their point of view, is like if they give up the hostages, it gives Israel full carte blanche to do what they want to do to them and to Gaza, because of the hostages kind of helped. So I'm generally very surprised that Hamas have actually done this. I'm very surprised that they've chosen to release all the hostages. I'm very, very surprised by this decision from them to agree to it. Seems to be, of course, all the main Western media and whatnot. They seem to be just hitting it's all about the reuniting of Israeli families and Israeli suffering and whatnot. And yeah, don't get me wrong. Like, I'm happy that they're going to be reunited. I'm happy that those hostages are finally going to be released after what happened on October the 7th, and it's been a long time for them. Don't get me wrong, like, I'm generally happy for them. I mean that sincerely, you know, because I don't want to see people held hostage. I don't want to see people held up at gunpoint. I don't want to see that kind of stuff, you know. What Hamas did was atrocious, and we all recognize that. I'm happy for that. But don't ever discredit the damage that Israel have done, and to try and make out, and which is what we're seeing from Western media, trying to make out, like, where is the and as Ben McGinnis pointed out in his live stream, like, we're talking about, what about all the Palestinian prisoners? What about all the children, all the lives? What is it, 60,000? More than 60,000 lives that have been lost since October the 7th. That's since October the 7th. And we don't even talk about what happens before that, or what happens in the West Bank, or what's happening in the Israeli prisons. You know, men, women, children. So many of them. And yet there seems to be a lack of empathy, a lack of moral, a lack of that from Western media coverage, mainstream in particular, when it comes to that on Palestinians here. They just don't see them as the same. And it's really heartbreaking. It really is heartbreaking that we always talk about the Israelis that they point out. And they don't talk about the Palestinians here. These Palestinian prisoners have suffered. They've had abuse. They've been literally tortured, starved, and all sorts in those prisons. And they're going to get no justice whatsoever for it. No justice whatsoever. It is so little sympathy. So little sympathy from the mainstream media. And it really angers me a lot. Peter M, thank you so much for the £2 super chat. A little something to get you offshore account. Yeah, thank you for that. It's a little something, of course. I mean, I would have gotten. I don't want to disclose how much I would have gotten, but it's not as like I don't want to disclose how much I would have gotten from my wrestling account, Facebook page. But it's less than what I normally get from YouTube. But it's still like it really does help my income. You know, it really does help my income, but it's kind of knocked me quite back quite significantly. I definitely don't trust Hamas to the air end of the bargain. No, I don't blame you, Mr. Schism. I hope I said that right. Alistair, thank you so much for the £2 super chat. How DPR, of course. Oh, Hammer Democrat Penguins Republic. Where is Bingo? What have you been doing behind me? It's been causing mayhem there. And Alison here with another £2 super chat to hit that goal. So that's another £2 super chat. And all hail DPR. Thank you so much for helping. 1, 2, 3. That's very generous. £8 super chat in total. £8 in super chat in total from Alison Keir there. Thank you so much. Peter M says this is a rehash of the agreement from 18 months ago that Israel turned down. So the question is, what's changed? What's changed? Like, I feel like Netanyahu and Israel have been offered something, possibly something, because I just can't see peace here without some kind of compromise. Like, I'm generally worried that this is also an opportunity that they see to try and have the mainstream media stop talking about what's happening here, try to divert the conversations away, try to get, because it's having such a political effect on so many Western governments and so Western politicians and political parties. That's also another thing as well. Like, I'm worried that they're going to try and hide as much of what's going on out there. I really am. Alison, thank you so much for 5 gifted memberships to Bella Coffee, Greg Guardsman, Scott, One Angry Pagan, and Witchy Goth have all been gifted memberships there. Thank you so much for that. It's very generous of you. Don't forget, Hamas has been using kids as soldiers, as human shields as well. Yep, of course. No, don't. Hamas, I know, by no means they are not good guys in any way, shape, or form. They are terrorists. Because what they did on October 7th, like, it's. I have to be careful because obviously some people, that you have the like. There's deep history, obviously, so of it. But yes, Hamas should not be seen as like some kind of martyrs or heroes or any kind of shape or form. They're not. Alison Keir with another 5 gifted memberships to Jal, Peter M, Doc Davis, Mithril, and Kirsty Hamilton. Wow, very generous of you. Thank you so much. Oh my, okay, that's okay. That's enough. Alison gifted another 5 gifted memberships to Sarah Davis, Alex Adams, Veg Pie, We Shall D, and Toys Don't Get Tasted. Wow, 15 gifted memberships. That's very generous of you, my friend. Thank you so much. That's made my day a lot better after what's been the last 24 hours has been extremely stressful for me with the whole Facebook page suspension. So thank you for that. I appreciate it. Make up for the break. Yeah, no, you didn't need to make up for the break, mate. Honestly, thank you. You're very, very kind. Let's have a look at the. Don't want to take up too much of our time because obviously, let me refresh the page, guys. I'm going to refresh the page and we'll have a look at what's been happening. It says 8 more updates. So 4 minutes ago, Netanyahu will not attend today's Egypt summit. This has just been broken in the last 5 minutes. Prime Minister Netanyahu was invited by Trump. He's not going to take place. Yeah, okay. That's not going to help. Speech. Applause for Trump, not so much for Netanyahu. It's been a long round of applause for Trump at the Kiss It, followed by applause followed by applause from Netanyahu by members of the Israeli coalition government, but not from opposition members of the Israeli parliament who remained glued to their seats. Huge crowds cheered released Palestinians upon arrival. Enormous crowds were cheered the Palestinians getting off buses that were transporting them from off their prison from Rafka from the occupied West Bank. Family members of friends are seen hugging men upon their arrival. That's lovely to hear. Oh, I should point out, I've seen online as well, is that some Palestinians do not get released where they come from. So sometimes they're not even sent to the West Bank. Sometimes they're basically just deported out into Israel and not allowed to return to their friends and family. Some people, so it's different. It's not every Palestinian is getting the reuniting that they deserve as well. Yeah, we talked about this in the past, the brutal torture of Israeli prisons. Joy as Palestinian prisoners feed. Bodies of 28 captives to be released from Gaza. Hamas has released all 20 living captives held in Gaza. The timing of when the bodies will be released remains unclear. This was 44 minutes ago I saw this. Israeli forces fired smoke bombs at journalists around off their prison. Sources have told Al Jazeera that Israeli forces have fired smoke bombs at journalists around the prison from which Palestinian prisoners were freed. Yeah, why were they being fired at? I don't know. And then obviously you can see here Israeli captives leave lots of questions there. Israelis names the 13 captives released from Gaza there. I'm not going to name them. Yeah, it seems here Netanyahu was to attend the summit, and then obviously we just learned that he's not going to. So obviously that's the main story really of the day really here. What else is Al Jazeera just saying here? Zelensky promises only to use Tomahawks against Russian military targets. Well, I don't see Ukraine. Ukraine doesn't intentionally target civilians anyway. So Ukraine are not bad guys in any of this at all here. We are not going to listen to the live feed there. I'm not going to put you guys through that. That would just be terrible. I don't think anyone would want to do that. Urgent debt relief demand for Africa amid public sector crisis. Madagascar president alleges coup attempt as soldiers support protesters. French President Emmanuel Macron unveils new government ahead of budget deadline. Oh God! Present the 2026 draft budget on Monday. It's not going to work. It's going to get flopped again. It's just going to get flopped again, guys. He's unveiled a new government after holding marathon talks with newly appointed Prime Minister Sebastian Vettel ahead of the fast approaching deadline to inaugurate new cabinet. Remains as foreign minister. New faces. Like, the scene as there's anything more to add. Really, I just for me it's too the political parties are just too hung up. Like the last Prime Minister, literally gave something to all the parties, but they all wanted more. They weren't willing to compromise. All the other political parties just didn't want to compromise. At the moment I don't see anything coming of this. Pakistan, Afghanistan claim dozens of casualties in border clashes. I've covered that in a short video that will come out either today or tomorrow. Bus crash in South African mountains, kill at least 42. That's absolutely devastating. That's the main, obviously, stories there from Al Jazeera here. Let's have a talk about some of the stories in the UK, guys. Is Prime Minister's questions back this week? Just out of curiosity. I'm not planning to cover it personally, but if anyone can tell me, let me know there. MPs expecting to grill Minister over collapse of China spy trial as Commons resumes after recess. Yeah, so it looks like PMQs is probably back here. I will not be doing a live stream of it, guys. I'm not planning to at the moment. I know Max Robespierre said he wanted to cover PMQs as a live stream, so so I don't know, because I don't want to clash with him and Graham on PMQs. It's there's just be too many bodies. Speaker likely to be sympathetic to MP speaking more scrutiny amid pressure on the government's security advisor. UK charities said toxic immigration rhetoric are leading to threats against staff. Yep. Yeah, this is all Reform UK, the Conservatives and even Labour government to an extent talking bad about immigration, like people who work hard to try and help others. This is happening a lot, and this is not being talked about enough here. Charities have warned that growing racial abuse, intimidation, and threats of violence towards their staff and beneficiaries emit increasingly toxic rhetoric around immigration and race by politicians and extremist activities. Voluntary organisations said they're being forced to introduce extensive security measures to protect staff and property. The trend described by one charity as a head in danger of becoming the new normal after being targeted. Refugees and asylum seeker charities, Muslims, Jewish and ethnic minority organisations, women's groups, youth bodies, homelessness charities, and even charity shops have reportedly been subject to violence, threats, and abuse. Incidents including threats to rape and kill staff, verbal and physical abuse of beneficiaries on the streets, attempts at break-ins to charity-owned accommodation, and damage to offices and vandalism, including anti-migrant and racist graffiti. This is what Reform want. This is Nigel Farage and Reform UK controlling the narrative, and because they are in control of the narrative at the moment, the last could sway the narrative. And this is the result of it, of people believing that all these volunteers, these people who are giving up their time, who don't get paid for it because it's voluntary. A lot of these charity bodies and work to help refugees, to help asylum seekers, they're being victimized because they're seeing, oh, you're the enemies, you're lefty wokies or Guardian reading, tofu eating, malarkey. You guys are a threat to us. Like you're damaging this country, this great nation. That's how they see it. When all they are doing is trying to help and be a human being with morals, with feelings. Like breaking into a charity shop. What is the benefit of breaking into a charity shop? Okay, it's one thing to break into a bank, okay, because we know what you're doing there. But breaking into a charity shop, like, do you even have a moral? Do you even have a conscience? Do you even understand what you are doing breaking into a charity shop? These are people who are giving up their time. Absolutely disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. Most of Great Britain's major rail operations are back in public hands. Is it working? It's way too early to say that right now. It's way too early to say that right now. So yeah, it's too early to say that now. 2025, South Eastern C2C, Greater Anglia, West Midlands Railway, Gotham Thames Link. Yeah, there's still quite a lot yet still to be changed over here. Majority of Great Britain's major rail operations are now in public ownership as the Labour government continues its efforts to make the railway more reliable, affordable and accessible. This is one thing I do approve of, one of not a lot, but this is something I do approve of the Labour government of doing. So far, 9 of the 16 rail operations in Britain are now in public ownership. So London North Eastern Railway, Northern Transport for Wales, South Eastern ScotRail, TransPennine Express, South Western Railway, C2C and Greater Anglia. In October, so the government says the remaining 7 will be nationalised by October 2027. These are the last 7 here. There, it's going to take some time. The operator was nationalised most recently was Greater Anglia, which took place on October the 12th, literally yesterday. Next will be the next operator will be West Midlands Railway. The government says will take place in February 2026. So after that, it's not going to be for a while here. And yeah, it makes sense not to do it around Christmas time. That would be very, very bad. That would be very, very bad. Great British Trains will remain privately owned. The trains themselves, industry insiders express cautious optimism about Labour plans, highlighting the potential of Great British Railway achieve more. However, experts have warned that nationalisation alone may not be enough to fix all of Britain's problems with rail, given ballooning costs. Yep. Government are making promises to make fares even cheaper and services even better, but both will cost more public money. Yeah, I mean, it's too, again, like, it's, like, I really want to stress this, like, people saying it's not working or it's already flopped, like, you have to give it patience. We have to give it some patience, you know. This is what they have under decreases in cancellations here. Delays and cancellations. I've not experienced, like, it's been a while. I don't often take the Southeastern, but it's been a while since I've taken Southeastern, to be honest there. But it's going to take, this is something that you have to give the Labour government a chance to do, this one here. This is one I can't, you really shouldn't be bashing Labour over. Rail fares have become less affordable since privatisation. Yep. Changing the price of rail fares to the average weekly earning in the UK since 1995 when privatisation began. Look at that. To 2025. That's our wages and rail fares. 182+%, 204%. It's absolutely outrageous. Absolutely outrageous. And if you want to get less cars on the road, that needs to change. The rail fares need to change. It's absolute bollocks. Like if you don't buy a network rail card or two together rail card, if you don't buy one of those discounts, you're so effed whenever you need to take travel. It's so bollocks. It really, really is. Any other graphs to show? No. My dad says that the Great Western Railway, the one he works for, is preparing to switch over. Yeah, I think we saw on there that I think they're the next one in February. I think they were the ones that are saying next in February. Top post ministerial jobs watchdog closes as part of UK government ethnic shake-up. IFS warns Rachel Reeves against half a baked dash for revenue there. MPs highlight Plaza Gaza students unable to come to UK with their children. Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's not right there. I know shopping centres where there is one supermarket, pawn shops and charity shops. All that's left in retail is some poorer areas. Yeah, there's a lot of retail places that are really struggling. Breaking into a charity shop shows desperation. Breaking into a charity shop or attacking their staff is utter scummy behaviour. Yeah, I don't see I just don't understand that. Yeah, you put when you say the desperation, I just don't see where the positive in any of it at all is. Like, it's one thing if somebody's incredibly poor and they can't get something from the food bank, so they go and they steal from the supermarket for food. That's one thing, but we're talking about charity shops here. If Labour tries to bring in digital IDs, there's going to be absolute chaos. Yeah, the whole digital ID thing, they've just not. The timing of this is just insulting. It's just insulting. Like they've just not thought about it at all. They really haven't. Richard Tice confirms reform, abandoning firm commitment to most of the 90 billion tax cuts in its 2024 manifesto. Oh, really? Is that because you're raising council tax in Kent? Yeah. Is that why? Is that why? Oh, you don't want to talk about that, do you, Nigel? Any other stories here? UK MPs urged to investigate TikTok's plans to cut 449 content moderators' jobs. Yeah, that should be a concern indeed. National Trust and TV Wildlife expert team up on the Autumn Nature campaign. Very cool. Lloyd's warned that motor finance scandal could cost us nearly its $2 billion as bills rise there. So those are some of the stories there from The Guardian. We've got quite a few things to look at here. Let's run through as much as we can here. Food bank I worked at years ago. I'm still friends with some of the staff and people that run it. They are running out of supplies regularly now as there's been more people turning to them, says Alliston. Yeah. Like, we are not dealing with the cost of living crisis. They keep banging on about growth. Sorry, put money in people's pockets. The solution is putting money in people's pockets and stop raising bloody bills. Like we've had bills increase all this year. Freeze the bills and increase the wages. So more people have more money in their pockets. So they don't need to go to food banks. And I don't want to hear this bollocks that the money's not there. That's fucking bollocks. The money is there to do it. It's all about politics. Like, just make the effort. The government can do that. They are choosing not to. They're choosing not to fix the issues. I know it's not as simple as that. I know it's not. But they can make people's lives better. And they're just kind of picking the bones around all of it. Mexico looks for missing people and to rush help after torrential rain kills at least 47. China shows no sign of backing down while issuing calls for US to withdraw tariff threat. Yeah, I saw Donald Trump's threatening a 100% tariff on China within the next week or two, and I'm like, what? Why? What's going on here? I saw that one about Madagascar's president. Ukraine's daily moment of remembrance endures through intensified Russian attacks. I covered that on Patreon if you guys want to hear me talk about that. Vance warns deeper cuts ahead of the federal workers as shutdown enters the 12th day. Yep, so we're still in the government shutdown, which I kind of expected because when I went on holiday, they said that they wouldn't be coming together again until this week, but they're not even coming together this week from the looks of it. So, yeah. Trump's intervention in Washington prompts for calls for its 18-term House delegates to step down. More on the Gaza ceasefire. Shooting at a packed South Carolina bar kills 4 and injured at least 20 others. Trump's intervention in Washington prompts calls for its 18th term House delegate to step down. Germany's president accepts invitation for a state visit to the UK in December. I haven't seen that story. That's just literally 12 minutes ago. You know, didn't we just spend a huge amount of money on Donald Trump? Just saying. German president will make a state visit to the UK in early December, Buckingham Palace has said today. Charles and Camilla host Frank Walter semester to the First Lady in Windsor Castle for December the 3rd to 5th. His visit on a number of occasions, the trip will mark the first visit in 27 years and the 5th since 1958, during which the German head of state will be first long form statement using experience. Lavish banquet, of course, yeah, out of our taxpayer money. Yeah, out of our taxpayer money. What a surprise. What a surprise, guys. Are we surprised by this? Probably not. Been tending to animals. I'm in chat again now. No worries, Ellie. Our cats are pretty alright. Are doing well, in case anybody's curious. Let's have a look at Sky News here. Why am I low on battery on my other device here? Twitch chat is quiet as always. Kimmy Bang not worried about China spy trial cover-up. Yeah, I'm a little bit worried there potentially might be a cover-up, but I'm not going to take lectures from you and your party. Oh, how was your conference, Kimmy? Oh, that's right. It was shit. Still don't know why people are... there was I saw 1 or 2 polls where there were increasing support for the Conservatives. And I'm just like, are you insane? Like, what's wrong with you people? That's insane. People are weird, guys. It's very scary. Man charged with stalking after allegedly targeting Sir Ed Davey and his family. That's really freaky. Why would you do that? He's been remanded in custody after appearing in court. Like, what on earth, would make you want to, like, listen, like, I don't always have agreements with Ed Davey and his party, but what would make anyone do this? I have no idea. This is just weird. Was arrested last Monday, but was only made public yesterday. He appeared at Wimbledon Magistrates Court and was remained in custody. The offences are alleged to have taken place between June and October. Spokesperson for Met Police said was been charged with stalking in possession of a flick knife. Hey, like, what's the matter with people? Yeah, they can't provide details at the time. Yeah, this is just like if you here's the thing, right? If you heard this about Nigel Farage, you would probably say this is not surprising because of the kind of language and the rhetoric that comes out of his mouth. Yeah, if you heard this about this on Richard Tice, again, you probably wouldn't be as surprised. We're talking about Ed Davey here. Like, why would anyone target the man? Like I don't have agreements with his politics again, but my God, what is wrong with people? Seriously, absolutely insane. Why on earth would you do a piece on Thatcher? Sky News, hang your head in shame. Can we just leave her in the dirt, please? UK played a vital role in Gaza's peace deal, says Trump's aide, after minister branded delusional. America's envoy to the Middle East, Steve Witkoff, insisted Britain had played a key part in securing Gaza's peace deal, contradicting US ambassador to Israel. What did the UK do exactly? Vital role? I'm generally curious. Like, can someone tell me in the chat what vital role did the UK do to secure this peace deal? In particular, recognising the incredible input and tirelessness of National Security Advisor Jonathan Powell. His comments came 24 hours after Education Secretary Bridget Phillipson was branded delusional by Mike Huckenberry, the US ambassador to Israel, for claiming Sir Keir Starmer's presence at the ceremony today. Ceasefire deal demonstrates the key role that Britain had played. Literally, the ambassador saying they played no role, and then you've got being told here the vital role that UK played. Like, the UK have not played any role in this. Like, let's just be real here. Complex matters of democracy they're involved in. It's in our right to do so and in all of our interests. Oh, it's Phillipson talking, bigging up the UK government. Israel got Israel's tea and biscuits. Yeah. I'm trying. Yeah, I know I've been on holiday, guys, and I haven't been paying too much to the politics. The message UK government said Hamas was a message that I'll continue this war. Da, 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 da. Yeah, I'm still trying to figure out like what did the UK do to help. Like answers on a postcard, please. Leave heating on all day low. Use anywhere needed. The space settled. We have not put on the heating once on. And I don't think we're going to be putting on the heating on unless it gets like ice cold. Yeah, we're not planning to put the heating on, like just because of how much it's going to cost. Yeah, we're just going to throw little blankets on us, if anything. Woman arrested on suspicion of murder after death of 2 children. Absolutely horrible. Like, I hate seeing stories like that. My condolences to friends and family. Really, really can't stress that enough. Inheritance tax U-turn rumour prompted farming communities to say it's too little too late. Yeah, because we already know that some farmers have sadly taken their own lives as a result of the inheritance tax issue. But a lot of them just don't understand the policy as well. There's a lot of them, unfortunately, who don't understand all the politics around it as well. It was the spy planes and refueling the planes. Oh, that's probably true. Yeah, the planes from Cyprus flying over, that's probably what they were referring to, but they didn't want to say that, maybe. I'm supposed to go to... Why am I going to BBC? I want to go to... Yeah, let's see what the New York Times are saying here. Israel says all hostages have been released in the swap. There's the Red Cross carrying hostages leaving the release site on Monday. That's obviously earlier today. Cars to fighter jets. China's new export cuts may level a heavy blow worldwide. Broad restrictions could cause supply interruptions for car makers as well as manufacturers of semiconductors, automobiles, and other sectors. Zoran Mondavi and how to be a good Muslim in America. So far, so good. He's doing okay from the last polls I checked, guy. Last polls I checked on, he's running. How Trump's Chicago immigration crackdown escalated in 10 videos. Yeah, oh my god. I've only seen a few videos, but the ones that I've seen is incredibly scary. I heard one story where basically immigrants ran into a white family's home in like an apartment or whatnot, a block of sorts, to basically avoid ICE finding them, which is like they had to literally flee into another home to avoid being caught by ICE. Like that's how terrifying it is for some of them. Absolutely terrifying. I've actually been told as well, some of the people who have been arrested end up getting released because they don't have anything on them as well. Trump has not ruled out insurrection act to deploy troops, Vance says. What? There is no insurrection! They're looking for any excuse to deploy that. Any excuse to go against civilians. Just they're looking for any excuse. Americans must not give the Trump administration an excuse. Don't give them excuses. Jesus. It's going to get scary. Surprising power brokers connecting Trump Republicans and British populists. Why I had to kill family dinner? Not interested. How a Las Vegas casino Mongol helped bring NBA games back to China? Not interested in the slightest. Any other interesting stories here? You got anything of interest? Victor Orban's propaganda state is starting to show cracks. Absolutely is starting to show cracks. The population are not happy with him. How China powers its electric cars and high-speed trains. Why China built 162 square miles of solar panels on the world's highest plateau. So they could get free energy. I would have thought so. Destructive legacy of California's zombie fires. So much destruction. San Francisco wants to destroy a 96-year-old defining artwork. Why? The Millennium sculpture is no longer a working foundation or a skateboarding mecca, but supporters consider it an important city symbol. Yeah, why change? Why would you want to? Yeah, just leave it. Like, you've got better things to be doing there. China hosts summit on women's rights while stiffing activism. The conference was billed as a celebration of China's achievements in supporting women, but the government has mostly wiped out advocacy groups. This is China saying, look, we're giving women rights. Oh, I will say they're better than Saudi Arabia. Let me put it that way. They are better than they're there. Just so you know, Stephen Miller is half a whale of a time there. Yeah, I saw that video of Stephen Miller in there with an interview. I don't know if people have seen it, but there was a video with Stephen Miller in CNN, and he pretends that the feed cut out when in fact he just stopped talking because he said the bad things out loud, which he shouldn't have done. It can stop the midterms. Actually, the midterms. I still think the midterms are going to go ahead, Alistair. I don't have the story here, but there was a story. The electoral Dominion, who used to run the electoral system, they're no longer in control now. It's a new company that's gotten taken over, and apparently they have ties to the Republican Party. Vosh has done a video on it. You have to look on Vosh's YouTube channel for it, guys. Let's leave the New York Times there. I think that's all we got from there, anyways. I wish I had the story, the link here, so I could show you guys, but I don't have it with me, so I apologise. Let's see what the BBC are saying. Starmer arrives in Egypt ahead of a summit on Gaza plan. Universities must tackle anti-Semitism, says Bridget Phillipson. What? I was going to say, what anti-Semitism? Well, there is anti-Semitism. I do think there is some anti-Semitism, but there needs to be balanced talks there. She says the government was funding training to help staff and students at universities tackle this position of anti-Semitism. Oh, by the way, Laura, why didn't you invite Zach Polanski onto your program yesterday? Are you afraid to interview him? Are you afraid that Zach Polanski will make you look like a fucking idiot, Laura? Answers on a postcard, please. You never spoke to him after the Green conference. You did it with all the other political parties. That's not with Greens. It's almost as if you're running scared of your job, Laura. I think you're running scared. Speaking on the programme, Priti Patel said Labour government should be gripping anti-Semitism in the UK. Hate marches where people are being racist as Jewish communities. They're not hate marches. They're not hate marches. Don't be so stupid. Protest went ahead despite a plea. Yeah, that's all that story there. I generally am hoping that the anti-Semitism, at the moment, I'm hoping things calm tensions now. That tensions will start dropping between for Jewish and the Muslim communities across the world. I really hope that the tensions start drumming down. I really, really hope so. I've done a short video on this, but I kind of want to talk a little bit about this as well. So, Welsh, Plaid Cymru promises independence plan, but not in its first term, guys. So at their party conference, a proposal to set up a standing commission to help the public talk about the future of the country. Members support plans for the commission to prepare a white paper on Welsh independence. But he told members that it was for the next government. He did not give a date for when, which rightfully so should not be given a date for it. He suggested Plaid Cymru could pursue the idea if both won the 2026 and 2030 seed elections. He used the conference in Swansea to present his party as a government in waiting, saying he was ready to replace Welsh Labour at the next vote in May. However, in Friday's conference speech, said the party would kickstart the national debate on independence. Yes, kickstart the debate. It said a previous Welsh government backed independent commissions on future Wales was a model for engaging people on constitutional issues, with the party motion saying the standing commission should be set up overseas with the government's commission's recommendations. Among other things, the government commission called for justice and policing powers to be given to the Welsh government, and the full devolution of rail service, both decisions the UK government would need to take. Independence was a viable option for Wales's future, the Commission has said, although it did not explicitly support it for any other option. I would caveat that independence meant hard choices for the short to medium term. Conference motion said the standing commission would engage citizens in an ongoing dialogue with constitutional issues and research issues of relevance to Wales' constitutional future. It would also prepare a white paper on Welsh independence. The motion also said that the paper would hold a referendum should be devolved. White paper is a document that entails a government's plan or proposals. The SNP published a white paper on its independence plan ahead of the 2014 Scottish referendum on its second term of government. BBC Wales was told the Standing Commission could begin gathering evidence for a white paper as Plaid's first term. The motion looks to the future, and we need ultimately for the white paper in which we set a formal path towards asking the people of Wales for a referendum. We made it clear that for us it should call a referendum when the time is right, but it's not now or the next government. Our work now is to take the discussion a step forward for Wales's constitutional journey. This is what they need to do: is engage in the conversation, drum up the conversation, organize, get activists, get groups and whatnot. That's what they need to be doing. They need to be going up and down the country, starting the conversation, not going ahead with it, but starting the conversation, having those engagements and conversation. That's what Wales needs to do. Definitely need to start doing that more because it's not talked about enough. It's not talked about enough. So cross fingers it works out for them. Got about 10 minutes left, guys, just for reference. Just for reference here. How John Sweeney plans to put his stamp on the SNP as the elections loom. Sweeney says he's president on my side to secure India referendum too. Why have I not got more? I thought I'd have more out for you guys. Let me open up a couple more things. You've got about 10 minutes, so let's have a look at see some other stories here. Have a quick look what you guys say in the comments. Doing the dishes. Who's doing the dishes? Why would you be doing dishes? Spiders frying poo, says Trip Trip. What on earth are you talking about? Talking about something else there. Right, let's have a look at African news here, see what they're saying here. 42 deaths in South Africa at Lampu bus crash. Wow. That's absolutely terrible. Voters head to the polls. Cameron's Paul Billett eyes an extended term. I really hope that guy doesn't get him. He's too old. He's older than Trump. He's older than Trump, guys. IDF announced successful transfer of 7 hostages. Yep, that's Israel. Let's see stories on the side. I know you can't see the text, guys, because it's quite small for you guys. Botswana, new rule to promote local ownership of mines. Opposition leader wins presidential vote in Snai-Skellies. I hope I said that right. Defeating incumbent leader in a runoff vote according to official results early Sunday. He garnered 52.7% of the vote. His opponents 47% the result shows. Majority of lawmakers in Parliament allow his party to work collaboratively and constructively to deliver the best possible outcome for our people. Very interesting. Don't know too much about their country and their politics, but let's hope it was for what the people wanted. I really hope so. Anything else apart from the bus crash? No. I really absolutely terrible loss of life there. 42 people. I hate seeing stories like that. It makes me sad. Offer ends Royal Caribbean. No thanks. No thanks. That's just going to be too expensive. Trump addresses the Kizet. Why Donald Trump keeps bailing out Starmer from international humiliation. I don't know why you're putting it like that. Is it really Donald Trump? I think Starmer's shooting himself in the foot there, you know. Major car makers go on trial over emission cheat claim. Pressure on Starmer to address unanswered questions over China spy case controversy. Yep, he needs to address that as well. Let's have a look at UK politics specifically here. Trump unsure if Tony Blair would be popular choice for Gaza role. Oh, you don't say! Wow, Donald Trump actually said something that makes logical sense, guys. US president said he wants to find out if Tony Blair is an acceptable choice. Okay, let us give you an answer. No! Donald Trump has questioned whether Tony Blair will serve the new board of peace is intended to oversee the governance of Gaza amid ongoing criticism of the former Prime Minister for his role in the Iraq War. Yeah. Took the UK in controversial Iraq 2023 and there's 7 Middle East envoy. US, EU, Russia, and UN leaving office. Asked whether he's spoken with Sir Tony about the possibility of his involvement in the peace plan. US told reporters, I have, but I first want to find out what Tony would be popular with all because I just don't know that. I like Tony. I've always liked Tony, but I want to find out if he's an acceptable choice to everyone. One short-term answer is no. Now, if you ask, what have you asked the Palestinians? Have you asked the Palestinians? His latest comments come from Hamas. Yep. Yeah, I'm just curious on his comments from Tony Blair there. Interesting. Oh, Aniston, thank you so much for another 5 gifted memberships there to Russell Cannon, Bernie Burrows, Gary Arnold, and Sean and QA library there. Wow, really, really generous today. Thank you so much, my friend, for your support. I really appreciate it. That's very generous of you. Thank you. New EU border checks would cause 4-hour waits and cost £400 million, which is why I went on holiday the week before of it. Oh, so glad I did not. Imagine if I went on. Imagine if me and my partner went on holiday this week and not last week. Ouch. That would have hurt. Yeah. Wait, you do not want to be going on a holiday as they are putting this in, because you will be waiting ages to get through. I would not be surprised if some people miss their flights as a result of this as well. It began to roll out on Sunday, meaning UK travellers will need to have their fingerprints registered and photographs taken in the Schengen area. The entry-exit system means UK travellers will need to have their fingerprints there. While the Home Office said the extra check should only take 2 minutes for travellers to complete, they admitted it may lead to longer waits at busy times, with travel firms warning passengers to allow 4 hours for the checks to take place. As a general rule of thumb, whenever I always travel, I like to be there at minimum 2 hours before my flight. But based on this, I'm probably going to give it. I'm probably in the next holiday I'll probably do it. Which won't be for a while. All the holiday plans we have next year are all home ones, to be honest. Probably if we do travel abroad, we're going to give ourselves at least 3.5 hours, at least something like that, just to get through that next year. But hopefully by then things will be more calmer. But yeah, do not travel abroad right now. If you know anybody who's going to be traveling, like if you know anyone that you know of who's going to be traveling abroad, traveling to the EU in any way, shape, or form between now and the end of this year, do let them know to literally give them tell them 4 hours, get there 4 hours before your flight and just go straight through and get it done. Is my recommendation. It's just, you do not want to be on the wrong side of this. You don't want to be missing your flight or running to catch your flight. Because I can see people missing their flights as a result of it as well. Farage says ex-reform leader who took Russian bribes was a bad apple. Oh, okay. So it's totally fine, guys. Was shocked by Gill's admission, but claimed the party did everything it can to evict their candidates. Oh, okay then. Nigel Farage has insisted that the former senior party leader, former senior figure at his party, convicted of taking pro-Russian bribes, is a bad apple. Oh, okay, guys. It's totally all right. He was just a bad apple. So we just take it on board. That's it, guys. Well, at least he's come out and given an answer to it all. But, yeah. Yeah. Government depends digital. Hey, you cut the. Where is that piece? You took it away. Where is it? I was literally reading that headline and then Independent took it away from me. There it is. Digital ID to include children as young as 13. Why? Why children? What do you need children as young as 13 for? What do you need ID for children as young as 13? Okay, you can make a case like 18 over or 16 if you're pushing it. 13. What do you need ID for 13? They have passports. 13 years old. That Cooper defends the prospect of digital ID. Okay, we will discuss this later on. We're going to discuss this tonight. This digital ID. No way back for government for Mandelson after Epstein scandal. No, Peter Mandelson should just fuck off and disappear. He should. Oh look, Rishi Sunak takes a job with Microsoft, a US-based AI firm. Oh, how lovely for him. How lovely for him. I'm sure he'll do a fine job over there. Right, we've got about a minute left here, so let's have a quick. Before we head out, let's have a quick look at the Kiev Independent here. See what they're saying here. Let me refresh it. Just have a quick look what you guys say. Turn out all the apples are bad in reform. Absolutely, Russell. Absolutely. Farage backpedaling, that being drama queen. I heard about the councillor attack on Friday. What councillor attack? There was an attack on a councillor? I hadn't heard that story. You have to give me. I must have missed that story. What, physical attack or just attacks on Twitter, like sort of thing? Can I see your papers? Yeah, can I see your papers? Yeah. Excuse me, little child who's going to the sweet shop to get sweets. Can I check your ID, please? Over 300 Belarusian nationals killed for fighting for Russia in Ukraine. Well, those poor Belarusian citizens being subjected to being Russia's stooge. And they can't protest or anything because they'll get cracked down on. And Russia will aid them if they need be as well. Now starts annual nuclear drills amid heightening tensions with Moscow. The alliance says it's the routine drills are not linked to any current world events. At least 5 tanks hit. Ukrainian drones sparked massive blaze at Russia's largest oil terminal in occupied Crimea, source confirms. Russia are likely helping North Korea with submarine deployment, Sal has said. Hamas. The conventional wars Ukraine could cease to exist, blames Zelensky for stalled negotiations. What negotiations? There is no negotiations. You guys don't... It's Russia who are the... Oh, my God. I know we're over time, guys. We're going to stop and soon. Trump said he will urge Putin to end the war or face the US sending Tomahawks to Ukraine. Yeah, they should do. Give them the missiles. Russia has pounded Ukraine's rail infrastructure 300 times since August, officials said. Yeah, I've got a short video on that. Ukraine's security service denied investigating top anti-graft prosecutor. Any other stories here? Not really. Some interesting odd ones there as well. Excuse me, and that is from the Kiev Independent. So, guys, we've gone over 12 o'clock. I want to say we will be having this Thursday, myself and One Angry Pagan. I believe it's this Thursday. When they're back with the Eco Flake show, so join myself and One Angry Pagan on Thursday for that one. It'll be a Viewpoint live stream tonight at 8 p.m. Do join me for that. I plan to do Discord after chat as well. So if you guys want to join me for that as well, please feel free to do so. There'll be, like I said at the start of the show, there'll be some changes, thumbnails and whatnot of the channel over the day as things progress. And as far as everything goes, Global News will be at 6 o'clock tomorrow as well. Good Morning, we're back at 11 o'clock from Monday to Friday. I'm not changing it for Prime Minister's Questions. I don't know if I'm going to do Prime Minister's Questions or if I'm going to do it anymore. So something I'm debating myself with, to be fair, guys. But thank you guys all for coming along. Thank you guys for all your comments. Thank you, Alison Key, extremely generous today with your gifted memberships and super chats. I very, very much appreciate it. It's very, very generous of you. And thank you, Peter, for your super chat as well. Enjoy the rest of your day, whatever you guys are doing. Stay warm out there if it's a bit chilly where you are. But if you can, just before you head out, hit the like button, share this across social media, subscribe if you haven't to already. Do check out Rumble and Patreon. And my device has literally just died right next to me, so I can't see the Twitch chat anymore. But thank you all so much for watching, and I hope to catch you all very, very soon.